Yo, what's good people? So Zola is a fascinating champion and I think he's very underrated on offense. A lot of people don't like using this guy in competitive modes like Alliance War or Battlegrounds because they think the stand your ground mastery ruins him, but you couldn't be further from the truth. I do wish that Zola had a mechanic like Safra where he completely turns off the stand your ground mastery. That would have been a great addition to his kit. However, he has so many hits in his heavy attack that it's extremely unlikely the opponent will resist every single one of your heavy attack hits in Battlegrounds or in Alliance War. It's never happened to me and I used Zola on offense pretty frequently. Now, he's a very versatile champion. He can handle a lot of tricky defenders like Captain Britain. He's one of the best counters to her, Dark Phoenix, and he can handle some matchups you would never expect him to be able to, thanks to his disintegration, which is his main damage source. No one's really immune to that. I mean, there is a cosmic champion come to the game that will be immune to that, but that's one champion in the entire game that will be immune to disintegration. Otherwise, the only champions that's really going to stop that damage are champions that shrug off debuffs. Now, as you can see there, that was a Sentinel nuked down in 37 seconds. Keep in mind, all of these defenders are on the CCP beta. They are 7-star rank 4 level and have the same amount of HP you would find in a Battlegrounds opponent. If everything goes perfectly, if you can back your opponent into the corner fast enough and you get good AI, you can nuke matchups in 30 seconds with Zola. Now, the reason he's a great counter for Captain Britain is the regeneration of the special 3. But one thing to keep in mind in this matchup is you cannot heavy spam in the corner against Captain Britain because she is stupid and her light attack is so fast that if you try to spam your heavy attacks in the corner, she will just hit you with a light attack and completely ruin your rotation. So you need to do the method where you basically heavy intercept the opponent. And yeah, this isn't the easiest way to play Zola, but his heavy attack reach is so insane that it's way easier to heavy intercept with Zola than it is with most other champions. So I'll explain that when I get to the next fight. For now, I need to explain his regeneration because this is going to be a key factor in this video. You're going to see this regeneration come into play very, very often. It works a lot like Sentinel. Basically, if you use your special 3 with Zola, you will basically regenerate all of your health. Not instantly, like Sentinel does, but you will gain a regeneration passive. And yeah, it's an extremely useful piece of utility, and it's quite broken, to be honest. So here I'm fighting a Jean Grey, and I always use Zola for Jean Grey in Battlegrounds. He's one of my go-to counters, and this is one of my favourite matchups because you don't really have to deal with the inverted controls too much with Jean if you're just heavy spamming her in the corner. So that's why he is such a great counter to her. And honestly, Zola's utility is so underrated. Not only does he have that regeneration, of course he has the special lock. So if your opponent has a really annoying special 1 or special 2, you can completely stop them from ever using that. Which is an insane piece of utility, bro. Like, do you not realize how broken that is? Not just for Battlegrounds, but just for the game in general. And that was Jean Grey nuked in 50 seconds. Very solid. And now we have a Dark Phoenix. Yes, he's good for Dark Phoenix. And the thing is, I don't even use the regeneration in this matchup. You can use the regen, but honestly, I found it better not to. Now, when Dark Phoenix uses her special attack, if you heavy counter her special 2, you will not get inflicted with the Nova Flame because Zola has so many hits in that heavy attack that you basically offset the timer and you will not get hit with that Nova Flame damage off her special attacks. You will get inflicted with a Nova Flame when she goes into immortality, but that is a small price to pay. Zola is freakishly good for Dark Phoenix. Like, he should not be as good of a counter to her as he is. Yes, you're going to take some damage in this matchup, but there's not that many Dark Phoenix counters in the game at all, and a tech champion out here doing it with 88% health remaining and in under a minute is unheard of, bro. So now we have this Maestro, and yes, Zola works for Maestro because of his increased ability accuracy. Maestro will not glance your disintegration off your heavy attacks. So this is what I meant by Zola just does so many matchups you would never expect him to. He's a Celestial Secret Merchant, basically. Like, you can really shock your opponent with how versatile Zola is. Now, this is not a fast matchup whatsoever, but like, it's a tech champion against Maestro. You're going to take a while in this match. It would be faster, but you basically have to use your special 3 in this matchup. Otherwise, you're just going to take so much damage from the Cosmic Radiation aura that Maestro admits. So you do have to go to your special 3. Other than that, like, yeah, he takes Maestro really solidly. It takes well over a minute, like a minute and a half at least, to do this matchup. But like, what other tech champions are nuking Maestro, bro? Not nuking, because this isn't a nuke, but what other tech champions are taking Maestro? Like, I cannot think of another tech champion that can do this fight off the top of my head. There probably is maybe one, or I don't even think there's 2. There may be one I'm not thinking of. Fam, that's it. Fam is pretty good for Maestro. But I think Zola does Maestro better, because like, with Fam, you're going to lose a lot of health from the Cosmic Radiation damage. At least in this matchup, you can reliably finish at 100% health. So yeah, Zola's regeneration of the special 3 is insanely broken, bro. Like, I cannot believe they added that to his kit. And if you're not playing in Battlegrounds, if you're playing in like a questing scenario, Alliance War, you can use this special 3 every match. Like, what the hell? I am flabbergasted that Kabam even allowed him to have such a strong regeneration. So he's actually a pretty good counter to Terrax, because Terrax has really aggressive AI, so you're very easily able to heavy intercept this guy. That's why he's a good counter to Terrax. Of course, you're going to take a bit of damage in this matchup, but you can always go to your special 3 if you want to. But in this matchup, you're better off just not going to your special 3 and nuking him as fast as you can. A trick with Zola that will help you finish fights faster is you don't always want to use your special attack straight after a heavy cancel. You know what I mean? You don't want a heavy attack into a special 2 sometimes. Sometimes it is better to spam as many heavy attacks as you can, and when your opponent gets to a special 2, you want to basically throw your special 2 after you've landed the full heavy attack, and this will just give you that extra bit of damage, as you saw in that Terrax matchup. Now, like Terrax, Weapon X also has insanely aggressive AI, so it's just really easy to heavy intercept him. And yeah, I mean, you can be safe in this matchup and just back Weapon X into the corner if you want to, but honestly, this method is way better and a bit faster for him, so I would recommend doing this against Weapon X. The heavy intercept method is not easy to do. I'm not going to sit here and lie and say, oh, it's easy. No, it's not easy. Even though Zola does have the insane heavy reach, it's still very easy to mess up because the AI is so unpredictable. A lot of the time, it will just stand there blocking, staring at you, doing nothing, and then when you least expect it, that's when it will dash in. So I can understand why a lot of people don't like playing Zola this way. I personally don't like playing Zola this way too much. I'm much more of a fan of Zola in the matchups where I can actually heavy spam in the corner, but you cannot deny how good he is. You cannot deny how much stronger of a champion he becomes if you do learn how to heavy intercept. Now, against Onslaught, you're going to take a lot of neuroshock damage because of how many hits Zola has, so you want to go to your special 3 here. And just look how much I'm getting hit in the face here. I'm not getting hit on the face by accident. I'm doing it to get pushed to my special 3 and all the way down to 20% health. Do you think that matters though? Hell no, bro. We're just going to regen all of that. And Zola, he is immune to reverse controls off Onslaught. He's not immune to reverse controls in general. He's just immune to it off Onslaught. I can't remember the reason why off the top of my head, to be completely honest with you. And I'm not loading up the game to check the abilities because, like, I'm sat here recording a ton of videos at once, so I don't have time to do that. So sorry, you're gonna have to find that one out for yourself, okay? I'm sorry. He's not immune to it in general, but he's immune to Onslaught's inverted control. Someone tell me in the comments why. That would be appreciated. And now we have a Mr. Sinister, of course, one of his best matchups. He's fantastic for this. The concussion of the special 2. does not matter whatsoever, thanks to the increased ability accuracy which Zola possesses. So yeah man, I 100% think it's still worth ranking up your Zola. Obviously he's a beast on defense if you catch your opponent without a counter. There's a lot more counters to him nowadays, like the LGBTQ chick, Carolina, Called Obsidian, there's Deathless Thanos, Starkey's a great counter for him, etc, etc. However, he is really good on offense as well, so even if your opponent gets a good counter to him, you can just turn it around, use him on offense. And I do draft Zola just for offense sometimes, like for a Jean Grey or for a Domino, because he does counter Domino. You don't have to go to the special 3 in this matchup, thanks to the increased ability accuracy. Once again, you will not take any critical failure damage. So yeah man, rank up your Zolas, and I would suggest sigging him up if you have the means to do so. I wouldn't recommend sigging him up over like a lot of tech champions like Prowler, Guardian, but if you do have extra 6 stones, 100% worth giving it to this guy. He's definitely worth it, and in my opinion, still worth investing in. This guy really shines in Alliance War as well. I know my officers at FAE always assign Zola a lot in War. A lot of other people use him in War as well, just because of how safe he is with that regeneration. Last match of the video, we have Zola versus Zola mirror match out here, and in this matchup you want to learn how to heavy counter Zola's heavy attack just so you can back him in the corner. You do take a bit of damage in this matchup from the disintegration, because you will have to bait out 1 special 2 at least. But yeah, in general, Zola, pretty decent counter to Zola, you know, pretty obviously, because like Zola's all about his heavy attacks, and the one thing you need to do against Zola is use your goddamn heavy attack to remove his charges. So yeah man, that's going to be the end of the video. If you did enjoy it, you know what to do. Support the channel, all the good stuff. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you all in the next one.